5 ways to save money on tree removal. Okay, so the first one is a big one. Position of your tree can double your costs. So what do we mean? Let's have a look at this example. We've got a tree in the front yard here, and we've got a tree that's pretty much the same in the backyard. It looks a little bit smaller, but it would be about the same size. Now, I wouldn't mind betting the one in the backyard is going to cost you double than the one in the front yard. Now, what is the reason? So we're talking about access. This is an example of good access to a backyard or rear patio, and this would be an example of bad access. So the solution is to secure, obviously, good access. Allow the contractor to get his equipment as close as possible to the tree. So in some cases, your tree is going to be in your front yard, or you're going to have great rear access. In cases where it's not, you might need to consider possibly removing a panel of fence if your neighbor, for example, has a rear access driveway, or you back onto a park, or maybe a rear laneway. This is so the arborist can get his truck and equipment as close as possible to the tree, which makes it easier for him and cheaper for you. The second one is room to work around the tree. Now, we've all been to jobs where you get there and there's just a minefield of stuff underneath the tree. This becomes a problem. It can easily be moved, but it's a bit of a headache in the mind of an arborist when he's quoting the job. So you're actually best to avoid an extra charge. Assure the tree expert when they are quoting the job that you're going to remove everything from around the base of the tree. In his eyes, it just adds to extra work and it's going to cost you more money. Now, number 3, this is a big one also, disposal of green waste yourself. Now, this can be done in a few different ways, and it's not always going to make your tree job cheaper. It just depends on the type of tree it is and where it's located. So if you've got a real bushy tree in the front yard, it's not going to make a huge difference. If you've got a huge eucalypt tree in your backyard with poor access, it might make a difference getting rid of the green waste yourself. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to have to do a lot of work. Hear me out. So the cost of dumping green organics, you can see here, this is in Sydney, and I can assume it's very similar around Australia and in parts of the US, is quite expensive. So let's look at a few ways you can get rid of the green waste yourself, which is going to save you money with the arborist and is going to be free for yourself. Number 1, council verge cleanup. So if you do, especially if you have palm trees, if you're going to get them removed, your contractor is going to charge you probably $100 per tree just for the removal and dumping process. If you can get them to cut them down and leave them on the front verge for the council to take away for free, you're going to save yourself literally hundreds of dollars. Number 2 is going to be skip bin hire. Now, this is all going to depend on the difference between your arborist quoting the job, what he quotes to remove it, or what you're going to get this skip bin hired for. So make sure you have it there on the day so the arborist can dump everything in the skip bin. You can get it taken away and you'll probably save yourself a few dollars. Third one, this is huge. This is probably more for eucalypts and hardwoods, or some pine trees as well. Sell your firewood online. So if in the previous example you've got a large tree in a backyard with poor access, an arborist is going to come and quote the job. They're going to have a look at it and say this is going to be an absolute pain in the ass to get all this timber out the front. And you can say to them, look, quote me 2 quotes. Quote me one to remove the whole tree, including all the timber, or quote me another one just to remove all the brush, leave the logs, and have them cut up into firewood size. Once he's done that, you can take a photo, post it on Gumtree or eBay, and you'll get bids on people wanting to buy it. Generally goes for per cubic meter between $70 and $100. If it's green, you might get a little bit less, but you're probably going to get 5 or 6 cubes out of even just a medium-sized gum tree. So you're talking about some real money savings with the contractor not taking it away, plus you're making money on the firewood. So it's a double win for you. Now, hire a gardener, not an arborist. Now, this is a big one and not everyone knows the difference. So this is an arborist. He's got the skills and know-how to climb larger trees, remove dangerous limbs, remove larger stuff, basically. He's got generally between $70,000 and $200,000 worth of equipment, which has had to be purchased, insured, and all the rest of it. So you can imagine his overheads are higher, and he's going to charge you more. So obviously this is a gardener and this is his equipment. His overheads are less, he's going to charge a lot less. So when you're doing a job, basically anything smaller than 5 meters, so you see these two, the red tree on the right or the small one on the left, something like that can be done by a gardener. As long as there's nothing around that can be broken, I'd definitely get a lawn mowing garden maintenance guy in first to give you a price. It's generally going to be a lot cheaper than an arborist is going to charge you. So obviously the medium and larger jobs you will save for an arborist. Okay, so the biggest one is companies who quote the job will save you the most. So when you think about it, if you're just shooting from the hip, going to the local paper or Google and typing in tree removal and your city or suburb, you're going to get the guys at the top, which most likely are spending the most money on advertising, so they're probably going to be charging you more. Now, there are a lot of good local guys that are highly qualified. They can do the job just the same as the bigger companies, and they're going to charge you a lot less. So what we do at Go Tree Quotes is we match homeowners with local tree specialists. Not just any local tree specialists, the ones that have been previously voted as the best price to quality balance by previous users. So all you need to do is come to our website, and in the bottom corner of this video you'll see a link now pop up, and that will take you directly to our site. Just fill in a few details about the tree, what type of job it is, send it off to us. We forward that on to the closest 3 guys who have been voted as the best price. They'll get in contact with you, give you a price for your job. If you're happy with the price, you can go ahead. If not, there is no obligation to hire. So I hope this video has been of some assistance. If you did like it, please hit the like button or leave a comment. And you'll also find a link to the website in the description below.